Hey guys, Caleb here. Now, in this video today, I'm going to be showing you exactly how I would make my first $1,000 per month with copywriting. Now, this is what I would do if I had no experience, no network. It's my first day on the internet. I would follow this exact 6-step process to get $1,000 per month with writing online. So, first thing I would do is I would pick a niche. So a lot of people tell you don't pick a niche, just be general. I actually disagree with that. I think the best thing to do when you start and you've got no experience is to pick a niche that you serve and just focus on that one industry. So if you don't know what to pick, here are some good ones: health and wellness, finance. This is the niche that I've picked. E-commerce is a very, very good one. Medicine is a good one. Real estate, pretty much anything that makes a lot of money is a good copywriting niche. Anything that sells anything, services, products, where there's lots of money, there is lots of opportunity. So it doesn't really matter. There's no one niche that's better than the other. People make money in every single niche. It's just about picking one that makes money. If you pick one like, I don't know, florists in the country, that might not be a good niche to pick. Pick one that just makes a solid amount of money. The other thing that you also want to take into account is, do you like it? Now, you're going to be writing about this thing and you're going to be researching it and you're going to be doing a lot of work in it. Pick something that you actually like. Pick something you have a mild interest in, pick something that you somewhat enjoy, because otherwise you're going to hate it. You're not going to deep dive into the actual problems of the industry. You're just going to be kind of lazy with it. So pick something that you actually enjoy. Like, I personally find finance really interesting, so I picked that, and then just settle on that. Like, don't flit around. Just become an expert in that niche. So step two: once you picked a niche, then you want to pick a skill. So I think what a lot of people don't understand who want to be copywriters is that there are multiple ways that you can sell copywriting or writing to a business. And the root of this is picking some kind of marketing skill. So this can include email marketing, SEO, ads, or growth operating. Now, there are other variants in this, but if you look at any kind of copywriter, they're usually selling their writing with some kind of marketing spin on it. Because at the end of the day, that's what people are buying from you is marketing materials and marketing strategy, because they just want to make more money at the end of the day. So for any of these things, I would first look at how they make money. So how they get to their clients, how they access their industries, and then pick a skill from this. So for example, if you want to be an e-commerce copywriter, I would recommend getting more into email marketing. Or like finance, SEO is very popular. Or say real estate, ads are quite popular. Or any one of these things can work. I know that e-commerce SEO is popular, health and wellness, ads, supplements, any kind of combination in that way. And I would find someone already doing it. So find someone who is doing that exact thing. So for example, email marketing for e-commerce. Find someone doing that, and then you can start to learn what they're doing and then replicate it. So step three, once you've picked a skill, you want to work on your presentation. Now, this is an important part of any kind of selling online. Presentation is everything, okay? You can't be having a blank profile. You can't be having some goofy Gmail account. You can have a Gmail account, but just make sure it's professional. And you can't be getting away with sort of irresponsible kind of like posts and messages. And like, you want to just have a professional looking copywriter portfolio and presence online, because the first thing people are going to do if they're even half interested in working with you is they're going to want to look you up. So they're going to see, okay, has this person got LinkedIn, Instagram? Have they got a portfolio with work in it? I would say if you don't have a portfolio and you've got no experience, use card.co. I've got a video on this if you want to watch it. It's just on the main page of my channel. It's how to make a copywriting portfolio for free. So go and watch that. But basically, that video in a nutshell, you need to present yourself online as having, being professional, being serious about your work. If you don't have any experience, you can just fill it with writing that you've done, samples, any kind of PDFs or cool stuff you've made, just fill it with copy, just so it looks like a healthy, full portfolio. Um, and also your email etiquette as well. Don't be emailing people like hi, or what's up, and doing all this like edgy stuff. Like, email people in a professional way. Have a nice signature on your email, and make sure that you're addressing them well, and you're asking what their problems are, and you're finishing with kind regards, your name, everything spelt right, because that's going to be the first impression of you is this email. So just, yeah, have some etiquette in your emails. It's very important. Now, step 4, and I've got 2 steps to this one, is outreach. So this is unfortunately the hardest part. So you've done all this, you've done all your step 2, step 3, step 1, step 2, step 3, and then now you're on step 4. Outreach is probably one of the trickiest parts. Like, this is where we're getting into the difficult bits now. So the first thing you want to do is find out where they hang out. So you want to find out where your niche generally is hanging out. So, for example, I know that finance bros hang out on LinkedIn. I know that e-commerce and selling like that, they're often on TikTok and Instagram. So understanding where the audience is and where they want to appear more on, that's very important to know, because then you can start reaching them out to them on that platform. And if you have a good presence on that platform, it makes you much more attractive to them. When you send messages to these leads, you want to just keep it brief. Don't take ages like on each one, sending them some free value that they don't want. Just reach out and just see what they need. Ask them if they need help. Ask them what they want. Ask them what problems they might be facing. You're going to get ignored a lot. I would say 95% of people are going to ignore you, but all you need to do is just land one person, one client for any amount of money. That's what you want to land. Now, if you're wondering, where do I get leads if I've got no experience, you can buy leads online or Fiverr. There's a really good one that I've spoken about before, a guy called Harlan. You can also just do it yourself. You can just go online. I've done this in a previous video of mine about finding clients with no experience. It's much easier than you think. It is literally just finding businesses online, finding people on Instagram, finding people on LinkedIn, finding their emails, just emailing them, messaging them, DMing them. Just do that all the time. That's pretty much it. Once you get into more advanced business stages, you can pay people to do huge volume of outreach. You can pay people to do sales for you. You don't need to do that at an early stage, because you don't have anything else to do with your business yet except land that first client. So you can just make that your main priority. And then the last point is just ask them what they need help with. So have this in mind, where you're not trying to, when you're new, you're not trying to give them anything that they don't need. You're trying to serve them. You're trying to ask how you could make their life better, how you could make them more money, how you could improve things. Always have that mentality in mind, because if someone's less experienced than you, there's nothing that they can say to you that is going to impress them. Imagine someone's been doing business for 20 years, and then some teenager pops up and says, hey, I've got this system that I can use for this. They're just not going to believe you, even if you do, because they know business much better than you. Instead, if you get something in that says, hey, I really want to help you out. I'm really interested in helping your business. I've got, unique insight into this industry, but I'd really love to help you. And what can I help you with? That's suddenly a lot more enticing than it would be to try and tell them how to run their own business. So keep that in mind. And then this is an additional step that I've added, which is Fiverr and Upwork. Now, I know that people groan about this and they say, oh, I don't want to go on Fiverr and Upwork. It's saturated. It's a race to the bottom. It's just code. Like, it is still one of the best places to get your first client. There are people on there, hundreds of thousands of businesses looking for people to work with them. Okay. They are there. Yeah. Okay. You're not going to get the high prices, but you have to do your time on the lower prices before you can get the higher prices, because you need experience, you need some skin in the game, basically. So make a Fiverr account, make an Upwork account, be active on there, and then make sure that you make your pricing competitive as well. Don't try and like make yourself more expensive than anyone, because yeah, they are looking for cheaper work there, but don't see that as a negative. See that as an advantage in your situation. Like in American Gangster, where he says, like, where Frank Lucas defeats everyone because he's selling something that's twice as good for half the price.
But this blue magic, twice the potency. I mean, it's the purest thing I've ever seen in the streets. Strong enough to smoke. And that's for those white suburban kids who scared of needles.
I paid $10 for that.
And it's everywhere. I mean, it's on every corner out there.
So how is that possible? Who can afford to sell shit twice as good for half as much?
So if you can have that competition with what you're selling, you're going to outcompete everyone, and everyone's going to go to you for copy. And then once you get that inbound system going, that's when you can start to raise your prices, when the demand is there. And also, you can get them off the platform as soon as you built that connection with them. And most people are very happy to do that because they charge the buyer's fees. So I'm pretty sure it's 20%. Most people are going to want to get off those platforms and have a one-to-one relationship with you, especially if they feel like they found someone really valuable. I've hired people on Upwork myself, and if they're good, my first incentive is to get them on a call myself and speak to them one-to-one and get to know them and have a mutually beneficial relationship where we both get more out of it. So use that to your advantage. It's how I started. I started on Fiverr myself, and I think I've done all right. So yeah. Now step number 5, create a $1,000 package. So at this point, you've got a few clients, either from your outreach, like manually, or Fiverr and Upwork, or both. You've got some kind of system going. You've done some work, you've made a little bit of money, maybe a few $100s. I think I made in my first month, I made about £150 on Fiverr, which was great. I was super happy with that. And I think what I would have told my younger self is, okay, start building up a package that you could offer for $1,000 or like £800, because in that way it will force you to understand where the value in your work is. So for any work you do, whether it's blogs, whether it's emails, whether it's setting up a funnel, whether it's some kind of marketing thing, really analyze what they're doing with it or where they're putting it, because I can guarantee that they are doing something with it to try and close clients themselves. They are trying to close bigger clients. They're trying to upgrade. They're trying to enter a new industry, and try and do more for them. So if you may be just writing emails, ask them like, oh, what email software are you using to do this? And they'll say, oh, I'm using Campaigner or something, because that's what we've always used. And you could say, well, actually, I know how to use Klaviyo. I could set up a whole new email system for you that you could potentially use to do exactly what you want to do, but even better. And they're going to say, okay, that's interesting. And then start to want to know more. For example, in my case, I used to write articles. I used to just do articles for money. They were just £50 a pop, and that was it. But then I started to wonder, okay, what are they using these articles for? Like, why are they paying me all this money for these articles? And I realized it was SEO. They're trying to boost their site. They're trying to make their site bigger to get more inbound leads and more sales, and try and just appear bigger to land bigger and more institutional clients. So knowing this, I started to learn SEO, and I then started to offer SEO to bigger businesses as a package. Because I could say, okay, I can do 4 articles per month and an SEO strategy for you and a content calendar and technical SEO audits. And that's all within an $1,000 package, which brings me on to my second point, which is make it seem easier to pay a retainer. If you're doing all these like random bits of work, you're doing an email here, an article here, like a post here, and you're doing analysis here and marketing here, and just say to them, look, I'm doing all this work, we're doing an hourly rate, or we're doing per pricing per thing. If you just charge me a retainer of $1,000, then I'll do it all for you. I'll just be your fractional CMO. I will just serve you however I can. And it's just a no-brainer for the client. They're going to want to know, um, they're obviously going to want to know how you're going to break this down, but it's just going to seem like a no-brainer to them because they can control their cash flow. They know exactly what they're getting. And they also feel like they're getting a good deal as well. It's not fragmented. It's a simple price. And you might even do a little bit of extra work for them within that retainer. It's a no-brainer for them. And then my last point is understand pricing. So I could probably make an entire video on this. It's almost like an entire concept in itself, but pricing is another challenge you're going to have to face, and I still struggle with it to this day, because at every level you're pricing at, there's always a bigger level, there's always a wider level that you get to, and you have to play the game a little bit of understanding how much they're making and how much they think you're worth. So that takes a lot of experience. It takes time in the game, because you have to know how much are they willing to pay, how much is a client worth to them, how much is their business making. These are not questions that people are going to give up easily. Like, people are a bit more secretive about that kind of thing. They're not going to give away all their information to a stranger on the internet. So just know this: there are freelancers who get paid thousands per month for their services. There are agencies who charge 20, 30,000 a month for their services. There are agencies that charge $250,000 per 3 months for their services. There are people that charge $800 an hour for their services. Pricing can just increase based on more specialization. But if you're a beginner, you're at the stage where, because you're kept out of this information and you're kept out of this like understanding of how pricing works, you're not going to be able to charge those kind of prices. You need to have some kind of network or some kind of wealth in order to be able to do that. So your objective when you start is to try and price fairly for the work you do based on the hours you do. So I would start, if I were you, at about $20 per hour, and then charge fair rates for that, and be efficient. Be cost efficient for businesses. Don't try and slap a retainer on them when it doesn't seem like it's worth it. Once you get these retainers in, then you can start to know more of an industry, and once you know more, you can start to up your pricing because you have more access to more information. That's how it works. That's as much as I'll say about pricing, because I could probably talk about it for a long time. And also, I am still learning about it myself. There's a lot to learn. And that's kind of the whole game we're playing. But that's as much as you need to know as a beginner. Now, the final step is to repeat. So once you've done this, and great job if you've got here, you've landed some clients on Upwork and Fiverr, you've managed to get some people to reply to you on email, you've made really, really good presentation of your stuff, and you've got it all in a portfolio. Now you want to repeat the process. So you want to figure out, how am I going to do what I've done again and again and again and again? Because that's how you're going to build a sustainable business. Now, the clients you have, you want to form a good relationship with them. So as I said here about knowing their business, you want to understand how their business is doing, how they make money, how it works internally. And the only way you're going to do this is building a good relationship with them. You can speak to them a lot, have weekly calls with them, and just try and understand their business. Because once they trust you and they like you, I am sure they're going to tell you everything about their business. How they started it, how it's going, their main clients, how much is a client worth to them, what they've tried in the past, what's failed in the past. And you can start to understand these pain points that they have, and then build an offer that is a remedy to this solution. So, for example, you're doing email marketing for e-commerce, for example, and then you understand, oh, okay, this store is really, really having trouble with setting up their emails. So you then realize, okay, I need to offer email setup because my client had a real bad situation with it. I should now probably offer that as a service. For example, for me, with my business, I heard a lot that we have we have a lot of ideas, but we don't know how to post it or where to post it. And suddenly I'm keeping that in mind and I'm thinking, okay, now I am offering more strategy and distribution of content because I know that they struggle with where to put it out. And I know that they often struggle with SEO. They don't understand what SEO is. So I've only learned this from having experience in the game. So forming good relationships is an essential part of what you want to do. Learn everything you can. Yeah. So you want to learn everything about your craft and what you do, like as much as possible, and learn everything about your client and everything about the industry, because this is the true value. This is where you're going to be able to get those higher retainers, is when you have genuine knowledge that you can't you can't buy elsewhere. You can't just pay money for it to go away. You have to pay for someone with actual knowledge and experience to fix it for you. For example, SEO. I know that lots of companies need SEO, but to actually figure it out themselves or try and do something in that way, it's just too difficult. Like, they have to pay someone, which is why I can then demand higher prices. And then the last point I think I've already covered, which is offer the same solutions to the next client. No two clients will be the same. There's always going to be some variation, and don't worry. But what I would do is try and see the patterns between them. So if any two of them say the same thing, bingo, you've got a connection. There is a common pain point. And write all these down. Make a little document that's like pain points of my customers or pain points of my clients. What do they struggle with? What do they keep saying that annoys them? What do they keep saying that is difficult? And then your business can be built around being a solution to this problem. And they might be more mundane problems than you'd think. It might just be that we don't have time to do any content. We can't really be bothered. We know we should do it, but we just don't really care. So in that way, being really responsive, being really like, delivering really good quality work on time and of high quality, that's going to be a remedy to their pain point. Excellent. We've now got a guy who does our content and we don't have to worry about it. You know, it doesn't have to always be this like super complex issue that you're solving. It could literally just be, we need someone to post on our LinkedIn. We need someone to do our emails. Well, we've got a newsletter and we haven't posted in 3 weeks. We need to do that. That can be the solution you provide. So all this in mind, you should be able to get your first 1,000 per month copywriting client. You might be asking, how long is this going to take? And I would say it's going to take a lot longer than you might think. Now, there's a lot of rhetoric online which says that you can do this very quickly, and you might get lucky and do it tomorrow. Okay, it could happen, but I would say give yourself 6 months to a year of actually trying in order to do this. It takes a long, long time, as I said, to learn the secrets of the industry to then be able to charge that amount of money. Don't give up, keep going. You're going to make it. You just have to be consistent at it and just keep upgrading every single day. You're trying to build something brick by brick here. It's not about finding a eureka moment or suddenly discovering something that's been undiscovered. No, it's about building the knowledge and building the skill sets that you need in order to charge the prices that you want to charge. So yeah, thanks for watching.